After 3 years of construction, the Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital is near its completion. Tzu Chi US Headquarters conducts a monthly free clinic to help the disadvantaged populations. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Su. Thank you for joining us. Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital is near its completion. During the construction, monthly free clinics have been held to safeguard the well-being of the workers. The hospital superintendent has also traveled to Taiwan to learn from the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. It is hoped that Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital will combine high technology and humanistic culture to safeguard the health of the Indonesian people. After 3 years of construction, the Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital is near its completion. With sincerity and gratitude, Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers conduct a roof sealing ceremony.
The majority of the hospital construction fund comes from public donations, instead of fund provided by the foundation. Mostly comes from the donations of local residents. It is the result of Indonesians working together.
99% of the main structure of the 21-story Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital has been completed, while less than half of its hardware are in place.
Mempunyai empati kepada pasien.
It's a big challenge for me. We can purchase the high-tech medical equipment, but we cannot buy staff members who have humanistic culture and great love.
Menurut saya ini tantangan yang berat sekali. Kalau tentang
We need to nurture them for a long time.
equipment itu bisa dibeli, tapi kalau ini agak sulit.
To care for the construction workers, regular free clinics have been held.
I'm very happy as there are monthly free clinics.
I often get sick working outdoors. The medical clinics are very far away.
Indonesia Tzu Chi Hospital will combine high technology and humanistic culture to safeguard the health of the people in Indonesia, marking a new milestone in the medical field. In the year 2000, Li Guochen and his wife were inspired by Dharma Master Zheng Yan's teachings, leading them to join the Tzu Chi family for 18 years. They have returned to Taiwan this year to be certified.
Holding the signboard and following Tzu Chi volunteers is Li Kok-chuen, who is studying their methods.
Tzu Chi is very good. Of course, I want to stay.
In 2000, Li Kok-chuen and his wife participated in Malacca Tzu Chi Youth Camp. Attending this event led him to be moved by Master Zheng Yan's message, and he's been involved with Tzu Chi for 18 years.
The things that Master Zheng Yan does are very good. We just follow what she is doing and having the chance to contribute. It doesn't matter how old I am, as long as we can do things on our own. I would like to do work that is meaningful.
Li Kok-chuen, who manages a factory, typically works almost 16 hours a day. Despite this, he remains committed to Tzu Chi.
Every recycling day he attends, he works until everything is separated and loaded. He comes to a recycling station and then he goes back to his office. This is really what he does.
If there is anything that someone needs help with, he is willing to go and help. He won't refuse help to anyone.
Li Kok-chuen is eager to make use of his free time to volunteer and serve others, thereby making his life more fulfilling.
33-year-old You Yuxiang was diagnosed with acute leukemia 6 years ago and needed a stem cell transplantation. Fortunately, she was able to find a successful match with the help of Tzu Chi. Her donor is Chen Yizhuo, who's a dentist.
Back then, my mind went blank. I thought it should not be me who was diagnosed with the disease. It sounded like something that only appeared in Korean dramas.
6 years ago, Yuxiang had intense knee pain, causing her to even have trouble walking up the stairs. After she went to the doctor, she did not expect that she had to be hospitalized. She wasn't discharged from the hospital until 2 months later.
My hemoglobin level was very low. I was one of the few patients in the hematology and oncology department who had a record low hemoglobin figure.
As an optimistic young woman, the first thing she did after getting the diagnosis was to share the news on her social media.
好想你，是真的真的好想你。
During her chemotherapy treatments, the only thing that made her break down was something that she did not dare to face.
On the day where I shaved off my hair, I asked my mom to take a picture of me. Her hands were shaking because she was crying, so that picture was a little bit blurry. After she took the picture, I ran to the bathroom and cried.
This was the first time she saw her mother cry after she fell ill.
I felt like I had done something wrong, like I shouldn't have fallen ill at such a young age, shouldn't be adding this type of burden on my mother. I am very grateful for accompaniment throughout this process. I think my mom is my biggest supporter.
To fight against the disease, Yu Xiang's mother gave her immense courage. In addition, the person who gave her weapons for the battle was her donor.
头发分边都同一边。
你们俩头发分边同一边，
而且他也穿点点的袜子。
I was eager to help out, so I registered at the stem cell drive. Before, I would also donate blood regularly. I just did what I could to help. It's like if we see someone who fell on the side of the road, we would go over and help them out. So to me, I'm just at the right place at the right time, that's all.
Mr. Chen kept and cherished the thank you card, saying that he was just doing a small deed to help out. But in fact, at the time, he was facing many changes in his work life. Although he had to travel between Taipei and Taichung every week to have checkups, he did not find this task hard at all.
给我一张小卡片，是跟我说，希望。
He gave me a small card and told me that he hoped the support was helpful to me. Back then, I was deeply moved. I was reading the card while receiving the stem cell transplantation.
Although Yu Xiang is still at risk for bacterial infections, she feels very blessed to be able to be alive.
We fought against the illness together. I am very grateful to him.
Dr. Xu Wen Ting, who has 41 years of experience in cancer radiotherapy, started working at the Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center more than 10 years ago. Being the Eastern District TIMA coordinator, he leads the team and travels to Hualien, Taitung, and outlying islands, serving more than 100,000 people. It's no wonder this year he was the recipient for the Medical Contribution Award.
The narrow eastern part of Taiwan, with a total length of more than 200 kilometers, has long been lacking in medical resources. Dr. Xu Wen Ting, who has been dedicated to this remote area for the past 16 years, has traveled far and wide, shortening the distance of medical care.
A grandmother who has artificial knee joints and has underwent hip replacement surgery, but doesn't know how to properly take care of herself at home. This is part of the overall problem in many of the rural households, especially when it's a solitary senior.
找人赶快给他送到医院来。你上次做电脑断层多久了？几个月了？
A sincere greeting can be a huge support mentally for the patients. Dr. Xu Wen Ting is the Eastern District TIMA coordinator. He regularly leads young physicians and medical students on medical home visits in the countryside. In addition to increasing their clinical experiences, it's also a great way to demonstrate what compassionate medicine looks like.
你怎么样利用你？
How do you use the limited resources that you have to take good care of the patients? You need to also make the appropriate arrangements for them. These are all things that need actual field experience.
Over the years, he has served nearly 170 communities, tribes, and institutions combined. He has also held more than 476 free clinics and public health lectures. Therefore, this year, he was recognized by the Hualien County Medical Association for the Medical Contribution Award.
Typhoon Haiyan brought city volunteers to central Philippines as relief efforts are underway in Tacloban and Ormoc and nearby Canaga. Poor living conditions along with natural disasters in Canaga has led to the construction of 3 small-scale guerrilla villages, spreading love and compassion to the areas.
This band is composed of children from Ormoc's Great Love Village, who are participating in an opening ceremony for Canaga's Great Love Village.
And I thank you for that in behalf of the people of Santo Niño, my parishioners. I thank you because of your great love that you shower to these poor people in this area.
Ang mga brothers, sisters, give your most beautiful smile. Are you happy? Happy? Yes.
This house is much bigger than a traditional house. It has a living room, 3 rooms, and a bathroom, and the most important room in the house, a kitchen. It also has a special design to improve ventilation, with vents in the roof, which makes it much cooler than traditional houses.
Once again, to move people out of tents, Tzu Chi has assisted in the construction of simple houses.
We're now next to Ormoc. Aside from this area in Ormoc, we have Kanaga, which has 3 small graveyard villages.
With the help of Violi, Codilia, and Ondo, they gave a lot, so yun, nangyari na tong housing. No? I would like to thank Master Cheng Yen for the kindness she has given to us since Yolanda and now, till now.
There are 120 residences in Kananga's Great Love Village. Near the road there is a school, and it's safe and convenient, as many farmers never expected to be given a new house.
We stayed in a friend's house for probably half a month, and then we went back to our small collapsed house and did some repairs before moving in. I'm very happy to build my own house.
Hanggang ngayon, feeling mo na kayo nagtayo ng bahay niyo.
These houses also allowed residents to participate in their building. These homes are safe, and this individual cries as he remembers his experience as a volunteer in Ormoc. Five years ago, the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan taught many how to build these houses. Now they are helping others build their own homes.
We help those that are not close to us. It made me happy to help them, even going to build these houses no matter how far away.
In this Great Love Village, there's lots of warmth and compassion, as these feelings have replaced the pain once brought by the natural disaster.
Tzu Chi's volunteer training is very good. It can change people's attitude and bring discipline. I'm willing to be a Tzu Chi volunteer.
Hand in hand, the people of Kananga are working to overcome this disaster and rebuild, sharing love and compassion to everyone in their community.
Every month, the Tzu Chi US Headquarters conducts free clinics to safeguard the health of low-income or illegal immigrant families who do not have medical insurance. Recently, it was held at the Golden Valley High School in California. In addition to mobilizing professional medical staff, there were many local volunteers that were present as well.
It's still dark out, but the preparations have already begun. The Tzu Chi US Headquarters conducts monthly free clinics in different rural areas.
It's already been 25 years since I've been a Tzu Chi volunteer, helping out with the free clinics. I've learned a lot before coming to America. I thought it was a very rich country, that the people didn't lack in anything. After interacting with the people at the free clinics, it's really been an eye-opener, because I realized that there are both many non-immigrants and illegal immigrants here in the U.S. They don't have insurance coverage at all. There are many people in the very impoverished situations. After seeing this, I said to myself that I should do more to help those who are in need.
Before I was, my teeth was broke and I looked kind of ugly, but now after, it look perfect, nice, almost natural. The doctors, they make a very, very good job. So I feel very happy with this job. That was amazing.
A lot of volunteer work, and the way they establish the organization, very organized. Everybody's so nice. So I've been five years already, and now my kid is growing up, and I start to bring my kid here, and hopefully they can join the mission and learn to give bodhicitta to other beings.
In the waiting area, volunteers are accompanying the patients and their families. The love and care can be felt all around.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Florence, U.S. City volunteers distributed cash cards to affected residents. Their efforts have impressed the local government officials. One of the officials, Linda, is looking forward to becoming the first Tzu Chi volunteer in Lumberton, North Carolina.
So right now we're in the Roland, North Carolina community, which was also impacted by Hurricane Florence, and we're at the Harvest Church of the Assemblies of God. We're in rural North Carolina.
And this would be our alternative to what many would celebrate as Halloween. And we commonly refer to it as our fall festival.
It's called Trunk or Treat. Again, remember, we're countering Halloween, so Halloween is trick or treat. We don't want any tricks. We only want the treat. Part of the natural disaster recovery process is spiritual and healing. And so after a disaster, you try to get back to the norm, or what people expect to be the normal. And it's getting a little noisy because they're happy. Why aren't you coming to church?
I do. I go on Saturdays at the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Well, that's fine if you go somewhere. So we're trying to make our church younger with all the little people so that one day they too will be helping others recover during natural disasters. Right? Right? Give him 5. Right. Lollipop Land. At a time like this is when you can regain hope in the community. It not only existed at the local level because we all became one family to meet the needs of everybody that we could, but I learned that it existed nationally. So when Tzu Chi came in and they said that what they were trying to do, you know, I was like, oh well, cool, you know. But I never knew that from Tzu Chi friendships would be created. I think it's a lasting friendship. I don't think I've worked with very many groups that have as much compassion and love and concern as they do. And a lot of them don't have hope, but you have given many hope today just by your kind gesture. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And Linda is going to become the first Tzu Chi volunteer in Lebanon.
In Thailand, there's a Tzu Chi volunteer Chandit who used to overindulge himself with entertainment. Thus, he neglected his family. Then he sat in a Tzu Chi humanitarian camp by chance one day and was deeply touched. Since then, he joined Tzu Chi to serve the less fortunate and also realized the importance of loving his own family.
In the past, he would always come home drunk, and I could not even speak with him. When friends came to pick him up, he immediately left with them. Back then, I felt exhausted, both physically and mentally.
10 years ago, Chen did indulge himself with all types of entertainment and left all the family responsibilities to his wife.
In the past, I would lose my temper easily and was preoccupied with my own needs. Later, I started to change and thought about how I could make my family more harmonious.
Back then, Chende worked as a hospital shuttle driver. One time, he transported the medical staff to attend Tzu Chi's humanitarian camp and sat in a class as well. The experience started his involvement in Tzu Chi.
After becoming a volunteer, I immediately quit drinking and smoking. It's already been 10 years. Ever since I quit the bad habits, my family has become more harmonious.
After he joined Tzu Chi, he finally bravely said that he loves his wife and children. In the past, he was not willing to say these words.
As Chendi seized the opportunity to serve those in need, he has also realized the true meaning of love and turned over a new leaf in his life. In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, there's an elderly couple who makes a living by doing recycling. However, since their home is filled with recycled goods, their grandchildren have no place to study. Thanks to the help of a charity group, the family's home has been cleaned and repaired.
Volunteers work together to move the damaged furniture out of the house, but there are still many recycled items left inside. The old couple earns a living by collecting and selling recyclables to raise their 2 grandchildren. However, their older grandson has no place to study. Volunteers of the charity group feel for the children who have to study in the old and leaky house.
Their grandparents make money by recycling, and their grandfather had a stroke.
The environment is not good, and the atmosphere is also poor.
With the invitation of the Dharma master, volunteers mobilized to help. They spent 3 weeks cleaning up and repairing the house. A construction company owner, Jiang Zhiyuan, even created a new space on the 2nd floor. Jiang Zhiyuan often brought his 2 young children to help. His compassion was cultivated from his childhood, when his mother brought him to temples to volunteer. It was then he gradually overcame his family difficulties.
Back then, we almost lost our home, but I think that since I have the ability now, I should do something for the society.
As he builds the 2nd floor with sheet metal, he is afraid that the indoor space may be too hot, so he installed large ventilated windows.
有自己的书桌感觉怎么样？
比较好。每天早上起来就一定要把被子折起来，折像这样子，弟弟这样折，好不好？
The grandchildren are the hope of this family. The Dharma master cares and guides them mindfully, hoping to help lift this family out of poverty.
Gulanyu is a historic community that has more than 4,000 seniors who are over the age of 60 years old. Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers have formed a team to provide free haircuts for the seniors.
Tzu Chi volunteers and professional hairstylists went into the old house to provide assistance to 83-year-old Grandma Huang, who was surprised to see them. While cutting her hair, volunteers also chat with her like a daughter to her mother. Now that she has a fresh new look, she is also more cheerful. Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers formed a free haircut team to serve seniors in Gulanyu who have difficulties going out. 90-something Grandpa Lei expressed his love to his wife with everyone's encouragement.
It's very touching because those 3 words are valuable to hear from people their age.
Volunteers are delighted for these seniors' joyful reactions. Zhang Lingling, who had only cut her father's hair before, seized the chance to serve.
I thought of my grandfather when he said he was a retired soldier. I've never cut hair for my grandfather before, so this is my way to express my love to him. It's because of Tzu Chi I can treat seniors like my own and show filial piety to them.
Love and care have made this World Heritage location a more joyful and beautiful place.
In the aftermath of the California wildfire, Tzu Chi volunteers went to 4 temporary shelters to better understand the needs of the affected residents. Let's pray that the affected residents will get through the tough times soon. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.